Okay, so if you want to buy the new iPhone 16 Pro, I highly recommend you watch this video first. Mainly because I believe there is a cheaper and sometimes better iPhone you can buy. This, of course, is not the usual thing to happen. Usually the newest and most expensive iPhone is the best iPhone. But I truly believe this year that is not the case. The phone that I'm talking about is the iPhone 15 Pro, which was last year's flagship iPhone from Apple. Right now, you can find it for about $200 to $400 less compared to the iPhone 16 Pro, but it actually gives you access to most of the features on the iPhone 16 Pro. You get Apple Intelligence, you get a titanium frame with the action button, you get a Pro camera system with the same sensors and the same optics. It has most of the features that were used on the iPhone 16 Pro's marketing to make you want to buy it. Probably the biggest one of these features is Apple Intelligence, the headline feature for the new iPhones that enables all kinds of software enhancements and improvements that take the iPhone to a whole new level. If you watch Apple's marketing and videos, it seems like it is an iPhone 16 exclusive feature. Get the new iPhone 16, get Apple Intelligence. But actually, don't tell anybody you can get the same thing, the same feature at the same speed with the iPhone 15 Pro. Partially, this is because the iPhone 15 Pro has 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is a very big jump compared to older iPhones, and that allows for the extra processing introduced by Apple Intelligence. Oh, and of course, because it has a Pro series chip with a flagship neural engine. It almost feels like Apple wanted to make Apple Intelligence exclusive for the iPhone 16s, but they needed an iPhone to showcase Apple Intelligence on before they launched the iPhone 16s. So they were semi-forced to get better RAM and better processor and better neural engine on one of their previous iPhones so that they could show Apple Intelligence on that phone. And they chose the iPhone 15 Pro. And yes, don't get me wrong, the iPhone 16 Pro on paper is a little bit faster than the iPhone 15 Pro. More specifically, it has the A18 Pro chip instead of the A17 Pro chip. But in practical terms, we are actually talking about a 10% difference, which is not noticeable at all. I personally have tried both phones. I've compared both against each other and found no noticeable difference between them. They feel as fast and as fluid as each other. But anyways, that being said, and before I continue, I wanted to let you know that this video is sponsored by UPDF, available for Mac and Windows computers. As you can see, it features a clean and easy to navigate interface, and of course, a great editing tool to change and edit text, add images, and paste links anywhere you want. Moving around the app is very easy. You can scroll up and down, zoom in and out, or turn your PDF into a slideshow with the tap of one button. Now, my favorite feature is UPDF AI. That lets you summarize your PDFs or create mind maps from your PDFs in a very fast and easy way. Once you're done, you can convert it into 9 different formats, as you can see. And the best part is that there is a Black Friday mega deal where you can get UPDF for 50% off if you click the link in the description. But anyways, that being said, let's get back to the video. So yeah, both phones have really good internal components. They both have Apple Intelligence. But what about the new camera control functionality? As many of you know, one of the headline features for the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro is the new camera control button, which is a semi-capacitive button that lets you open the camera by tapping on it or taking pictures just by tapping on it again. And even better, if you lightly press on the button, you can access a secondary menu so you can browse between the different cameras and the different modes without having to touch the display. This, of course, seemed very impressive when Apple showcased it in September because they are really good at marketing new features. But in practical terms, after having used the iPhone 16 Pro for 2 months, I can tell you it is completely useless. And not just me, everybody that I've talked to that has the iPhone 16 Pro, or everybody that has made a video on the iPhone 16 Pro, has said the same thing, that the camera control button is completely useless. And there is a very clear and logical reason why. The touch controls we've been using for 15 years are noticeably faster and more convenient. It is very easy to change between cameras or zoom in, as opposed to doing the same thing on the camera control, where you have to lightly tap and then double tap and then swipe and then tap again and then swipe slightly instead of just doing it more, I don't know. It's very inconvenient and it feels very slow, so it never actually outperforms the touch controls we've had for the past 15 years, rendering the feature useless. And you know what? It actually gets worse. I've had a really big issue with accidental taps to the camera control. As I said earlier, it has a capacitive button, which requires very little pressure to activate. So if you hold your phone like this with your left hand and you rest your fingers on top of the camera control, it is very, very likely at some point when you're on the camera app, you will accidentally trigger that sub-menu functionality, which is a complete mess, because once you activate it, the touch controls disappear, and then if you want to swipe it away, you also swipe on the touch controls, which change your photo or video mode, and that could lead to very big problems. For example, imagine you are at a wedding and you want to capture a video of the wedding. It is not going to happen again. You can't mess it up. Well, if you accidentally tap on the camera control and then you want to swipe it away, and because you swipe it away, you also swipe on the touch controls between cinematic video and time lapse, you can accidentally record a time lapse when you wanted to record a normal cinematic video. It can lead to very big issues. So I actually had to deactivate it. If you go to the settings to accessibility, there's actually a toggle that lets you disable the capacitive functionality on the button. So you can still use it as a normal button to open the camera and take pictures, but if you lightly press on the button, nothing will happen. So that feature, that option gets completely disabled, which to me was a good thing because I was accidentally triggering it all the time. But it also renders the new iPhone useless because if the headline feature, the main exclusive feature for the phone, is useless and you have to go to the settings to deactivate it, then why would you buy the phone? And even then, even if you don't accidentally trigger it, most people, as I said, after using it for 1-2 months, have said they don't use it. It's not useful. The classic touch controls are better. So it would not be a reason to upgrade to the newer iPhones. There is actually only one thing on the iPhone 16 Pro that I would say is better than on the iPhone 15 Pro, and that is the slow-mo video recording, because now you can go up to 4K. So you can do 4K slow-mo video without, very interestingly, any quality loss as opposed to normal 4K. So you can get really sharp, really high-quality 4K slow-mo video, which, you know, maybe for normal people is not a big deal. 1080p is fine. But for people who do video professionally or semi-professionally, this is a really big deal. I mean, you can get some really professional looking videos and clips from an iPhone, from a smartphone. That is really impressive. Most of you probably don't know, but right now, if you want to get a professional camera that can do 4K 120, you have to spend thousands of dollars. Thousands. There's very few professional cameras that can do that. So being able to access that functionality on a smartphone is very impressive. But as I said, that's it. That's the only thing. And even then, most people are not going to value this new feature. Probably the thing that pissed me off the most was that the cameras on the iPhone 16 Pro are the same ones we had on the iPhone 15 Pro, which are the same ones we had on the iPhone 14 Pro. The same sensors, the same optics, the same overall hardware on the camera. So even though the software, the processing Apple is doing to the pictures has slightly improved over time, the physical cameras, the quality of the camera is the same. So the picture quality is also going to be the same. In fact, you are seeing right now a photo comparison between the iPhone 14 Pro and the 16 Pro, And as you can see, there is absolutely no difference beyond a slight change in the colors because of the color science on each phone, which has nothing to do with the quality of the cameras. It is more so a preference in style. There is absolutely no differences. As I said, because they have the same optics and the same sensors, the dynamic range is going to be the same, the sharpness is going to be the same, the visual quality, the depth of field, everything is going to be exactly the same. The only real difference between the two is that if you get the smaller version, so the Pro instead of the Pro Max, the 15 Pro is going to have a 3x telephoto camera, and the 16 Pro is going to have a 5x telephoto camera. But the quality of these two cameras is exactly the same. I'm pretty sure most people are going to prefer the 5x functionality as opposed to the 3x. But some other people, I'm sure, will prefer the 3x functionality. Sometimes you don't want to take super zoomed in photos. So in that case, 3x is going to be more convenient. So yes, 5x could be better for some people, but 3x could be better for some others. So I can't say it is better. Then an even smaller difference is that the iPhone 16 Pro is 0.2 inches bigger than the iPhone 15 Pro, which, as you probably assumed, is almost unnoticeable. You cannot notice any differences. I've had both phones. I have them in my hands right now, and I don't notice any difference in weight or in size. I mean, technically, if you put them both on like a desk and you take a close look, you can see the 16 Pro is a little taller. It is almost as wide as the 15 Pro, but it's a little taller. But in practical terms, when you have them in your hand, they are identical. I mean, I'm sure some people will prefer a slightly bigger display. Some will prefer a slightly smaller display. But the difference is so small that I don't think it should affect your purchasing decision. I don't think you should buy one over the other because, oh, it's a little bigger, it's a little smaller. The difference is so small that you're not even going to notice. So yeah, the iPhone 15 Pro, if you forget about Apple's marketing, because as I said, they are very good at making their marketing and their ads and their music so you feel like you need the new phone, like it's a revolutionary upgrade that's going to give you a lot more functionality. But if you can avoid getting trapped in that hype train they create, you notice, as I said in this video, as you've seen in this video, that the iPhone 15 Pro is almost identical, and it is $2 to $3 to $4, sometimes $100 cheaper. I don't see any reason beyond professional videographers that also use their phone, so they need a really good phone and that record 4K 120. Beyond like a very, very small pocket of people with a very specific need, I don't see why you would, spend more money, noticeably more money, on the iPhone 16 Pro, unless you're super rich and you can just get anything, whatever, it doesn't matter. You should throw it away, buy another one. That type of rich. If you're not that guy, get the iPhone 15 Pro. I think it is a much better deal. But anyways, I don't want to repeat it. I've been saying it all across the video. You get the point. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again in a new video.